Okay, so we are here with the Skylark, and we are just going to do a quick walkthrough of all the systems and operations, just so you can see at first hand how I do it, because I made it. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we are at the stern. So as you can see, we've got two of these winches. People keep asking me what they are. They're just the old winches, and they are connected to these. You can see winch out, winch in. So if we press this, it lowers, and if we press this, it brings it in. Just like that. Same thing for this one, exact same. Now here we've got rope storage here, rope storage here. We've got a couple of fishing rods on the sides. We have a harbor power, and then we've got a fuel so we can refuel. We've got our fish hopper here. Whenever we bring in our net, we can bring it right over here and just drop the fish right into there. And we've got a nice big deck, so if there's any spillage, we can just throw them in there. We've got a huge winch here, and these are controlled by this one, so we have the same thing, lower and raise, so we can lower it, or we can raise it, like that. Now, let's go into the controls for the actual arms. So, as you can see here, we've got two arms. They each have a winch on top. As you probably can guess, the fishing update hasn't come out yet, so you won't actually be able to see it in action yet. But I'll do another video of fishing with it afterwards. But this is just to kind of give you a showcase and how it all works. So we have a remote control here so that whenever we're selling fish, we can control the arm. And then we have the channel, and we have the arms here. We have rotate in, out. We have tilt in, out, and then we have raise and lower. So what we want to do first is, let's just say we're bringing this out and we want to start fishing. We're going to rotate this out. So this will bring our whole entire arm facing out now, which is what we want. So we'll bring this all the way out. And just wait for it to get there. There we go. And now that this is tilted in, as you can see there, we will tilt it out. Just like that. And that's about as far as you want to go with that. It gives you more than enough room to put the nets, and it won't bounce around. So a lot of people have the problem where if you control the stuff with winches, it'll bounce a lot. So this is controlled by winches, but it does have these pivots as well. But it's not strong enough to just hold it with the pivot, so the winches and ropes really help hold it there. But if you lower it too much, one, you kind of set off the boat and it gets a little unstable, and two, it'll start bouncing around, which is the same thing, it just really makes you unstable, and you don't really need it that far out. So I didn't clamp it because it's winches and you should be able to figure this out. It's not rocket science. And the other one is the exact same here. So we can rotate this out. And actually, I'll just show you this one's going in. So let's just say we are trying... I feel like there's a tsunami. Nope. So let's just say we have our fish. We're all lowered out, so we'll just do it with this one. So we'll bring our net up. We use the up down for that, so we'll raise our beam up. It'll bring it up. And then what we're going to do is we are going to tilt it in like this. And we'll just do it there just a little bit, and then we will rotate it in. Keep an eye on this. And then once it's rotated in, we can go a little bit further, and then so we can try and get right above this fish hopper. There we go. And then we can play with this arm, bringing it in and out here, so we can tilt it out. Like that. Oh, wrong way. Tilt in. There, so we can play around with that and just get it lined up nice. And it's the exact same for the other one. So that's really nice and simple to use. We can walk all the way around the boat. We've got some rope storage here. Spotlights are there. Same thing, mirror imaged. And we can walk up here, a little stairway. We've got the door, so we can come in. We'll close the door. We've got our circuit breakers here. So we've got our main, which is just all of our main power. We've got stabilizing systems, so this is all of our like active stabilizer, fins, all of that. So we want this on. We've got our engine room, so everything for the engine and the engine room is controlled way here. And then backup batteries. So as you can see here, we've got backup low and then main bat low. So if our main bat's low, it'll show us a little light and it'll flicker, and then we can just flip on the backup and we should be good. Now here we've got our nice little XML table, so we can get really nice and tight in. We can fit 4 people here, which is nice. And we've got, this will be our fish finder, but it's not out yet, obviously. We'll go into driving afterwards. I'll just show you the interior first. So actually, we'll turn on the lights real quick. So we'll go helm lights. We got lights. This turns on this light too, so we have to crouch to go down here. And now we're downstairs. We've got heaters and lights, so our heater's down there. We've got a nice little interior, little sink and a mirror and cabinets. We've got some equipment back here for anything you need. We've got a bed. You can crawl back here and there's a little spot with some notes and a little curtain, a nice little hideaway. And we come back here, we've got the engine. So we'll close this. We can't stand up back here if it's open. So we've got a nice little engine bay. It's pretty simple, but it doesn't need much. It's a pretty small engine. We've got volts, engine RPM, and then our engine temp. Our volts, this will show up as 0 because our generator is set up so that it only turns on if we need the power, because we don't need the extra resistance on the engine if we don't need the power. So we might as well get that extra power out to the propeller and give us some more speed or whatever you need. We've got a light here, we've got firefighting, we've got a hose. This is connected just to seawater, so we can put out fires or whatever you need from there. And this is an endless stream, so you should be good for that. The cooling on this has two 3x3 electric radiators, so it's more than enough cooling. And if it does ever overheat, just turn it off for a second. Like if you're fishing, you know, you might take breaks or whatever, but it shouldn't overheat, period. So up here we've got our autopilot, compass, current, bearing. This is a light just telling us if our engine's running. We've got speed and knots, push to talk, so we've got a radio. Over here we've got spotlights. We've got our left spotlight, so these are the above ones. We can turn it like that. We can't pivot it up and down, but it's set at a good spot right now. So that just gets controlled by here. We have one on the right too. Same controls. We can go right. These are nice just if you need a little bit of extra light while you're fishing or whatever at night. And we've got both of those. We've got radio channel, so you have to set your channel before doing push to talk. We've got helm lights, shooting nets. So this light, you can see the lights on the very top left all the way to the right of our cab on the top. So if we are shooting nets, which means we're putting nets into the ocean, we'll turn this on. Now we've got a white on white light. Now that means that we are shooting nets. So other boats around will say, hey, those two whites, one above the other, means that we're shooting our nets out. Now if we're not, we'll turn that off. If we're hauling nets, which means we're bringing nets on board, we will turn this on. And this is a white on top of a red. So boats around us will know, oh, stay away because he's bringing nets up. So we can turn that off if we're not. And if we are just trolling, where's our trolling? There we are. If we are just trolling, we've got our green over white light. So people know, don't go directly behind this guy, he's got nets. So that's just some nice little realistic lights. So we won't have those on. We've got position lights. We've got our little reds and greens. And we'll keep those on. We've got deck lights. So these are just little dim lights around the deck, which help. They are a little bit bright around the hopper. I might change that a little. And we'll turn those off. We've got deck work lights. So these are the back lights on the deck. These are great for nighttime. And we've got our front spotlights. So those are those front ones there. And we've got our side spotlights, just up there on the sides. So you've got really nice lighting options for this boat. So you can really, like nighttime is not a problem on here at all. And let's go down here. So then we've got our RPM. We're not currently running. We've got our seafloor depth, so you can see how much ocean is below you. We've got our odometer. We've got volts. Once again, this will show 0 until the generators kick on. We've got our range, so how far the boat can go. We have got fuel in percent, so currently we're at 97%. And we've got our main bat level, so whatever your main battery's at, that'll show it. We've got fish finder, so whenever I get the fish finder hooked up, that'll turn that on. We've got start engine, autopilot, our throttle, we'll bring this down to 0. We've got throttle up, throttle down. So that's all the controls for that. But one other thing that's kind of nice whenever you're fishing is if you don't want to go up here and look here, press whatever key you have to get more info. I have the fish up here with a max. So you can see what you're at and then see your max and say, okay, this is nice and quick and easy to figure out now. So That's just a nice little other feature. So let's get it started. So let's start it up. We'll wait for the green light to come on. And just like that, we are on and running. Oh, I thought I turned our throttle down. There we go. So we've got speed, knots, all of that fun stuff. We've got a reverse too. So let's add some throttle. This is a pretty quick little boat. I believe it goes about 30 knots at max. So we'll just add some of our throttle. It's very stable too. And even if you do manage to tip over, it'll automatically bring you back, no problem. So let's see how fast we're going. Yeah, we're going 32 knots right now. Perfect. Now let's set up an autopilot so I can show you this real quick. So let's just say we want to go there. You can see there. So we'll set our autopilot. We'll put this in. And we'll press autopilot. It's very slow. This is almost more of a heading hold. So it will turn us there, but you want to help it out. So just turn in the direction you think you have to go if you have waypoints off. Like you can see your own bearing. So you can take a wild guess and say, hey, I'm facing this way. So I know I have to go generally this way. And then once you get basically there, just let go and it'll take you that little extra bit. But it does take a while, so it just helps. But once you're facing the direction, you'll stay there and you won't move. It's very good at holding you in that direction. Because as you can see, we are moving, just very slow. It does work though. It's not like it's not working, it's just very slow. So we'll just watch. So yeah, it's going to hold us about right here. And look at that, we're sitting. So this is pretty accurate. So we're not going to move off this course. And it is set to an ad block, so we can still steer while we're driving, which is nice. So if you're accidentally going towards something, you can steer away. And then we've got our horn. Perfect. And that's about it for this boat. It was pretty fun to build, and I'm really looking forward to fishing update coming out. And so yeah, see you all then. Thanks for watching.